We are going to be creating a cubist face artwork where you use multiple images from different angles and putting it together in Photopea, make it look a little bit like a cubist artwork inspired by Picasso's art that views things from more than one perspective at the same time. So we're going to use Photopea and put together a few images at once, so from different angles, and put them together in Photopea so that it shows more than one angle at the same time in Photopea. So Photopea is the first website you're going to open, Photopea, photopea.com. And when you open photopea.com, it will first look like this. It'll load with a swirled P. This is kind of like a simplified version that can work on a Chromebook, a simplified version of Photoshop. So we're going to start out by making a new project. Go to the tab that says Print, scroll down, and you'll see one that says Letter. Then you name it your name, Cubist. All right, then we hit Create. Next, you're going to open another tab that has your name portfolio, the one that has photos of your work, or photos of you. So in a previous assignment, I asked you to take high contrast photos of yourself in the corner of the room where there's a lot of light and dark, and I asked you to take them from different angles. Next, you're going to take a screenshot. Now, a screenshot on the Chromebook is holding down Control and Shift at the same time, and then you hit the screen switcher button, which is at the top, and then you click and drag over the screen. So I'm on a Mac, so mine's going to look slightly different, but if I'm on a Mac, I press Command Shift 4. You're going to grab the part of the picture that you want to keep, and then when you do that, it usually shows up in the corner and it saves into the clipboard. So then you go over here to Photopea and you can Control V or paste. You can paste more than one. Each time you paste, you'll notice that there's a new layer. So I actually put in 2 here just so you can see more than one layer. So again, you're going to go back into another angle of your face. Again, that was Control Shift and then the screen switcher button, and then it's on your clipboard. Clipboard means that's where it's copied to. Control V to paste. And then whenever you paste it in, you can use this arrow, check Auto Select, check Transform Controls, and that's useful because then you can make it larger or smaller. And when you transform the size like this, you press Enter or Return on your keyboard. You can also change the order of the layers by clicking on a layer and dragging it underneath another layer. So that allows another picture to be on top. You use your arrow tool to move it. And whatever, if you have auto select selected on here, so I'm going to my arrow tool, it has auto select on there. Whatever picture I click on is the picture that it should select. If it doesn't select the layer you want, you can just click over here on the layer you want and then resize it or move it, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to try to put together more than one face, and I can rotate them, I can resize them. I can also make parts of the picture disappear. So I'll show you, you can of course delete pictures or delete parts of pictures, but I'm also going to show you how to make parts of them disappear. So you can use this tool. This is called the Marquee tool. It allows you to select part of something. You could select part of it and then just press delete. But the problem is you can't really get that back very easily other than to go back in history and go back in time here. This lets you go back in time. You can also press Control Z, but I like to be able to adjust things after I do it. So like in this case, I may want to bring part of that nose back. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to apply what's called a mask. So a mask means whatever is selected, it's going to keep it when I press this mask tool button right down here at the bottom of the layers panel. I see a tool that looks like a circle inside of a rectangle. I hit that button and it applies what's called a layer mask. A layer mask means everywhere that it's black, the layer disappears. Everywhere that it's white, it comes back. So for example, if I want this dark part of my face to disappear, I can go to the paintbrush and right down here, I can choose black and white. X on the keyboard switches between black and white. If I paint black right here, it'll make that part of my face disappear. I want a larger brush. So here's the brushes. I can make the size larger here. I can also click on a larger number here. And this means it's going to be a soft brush. It's going to fade. So I'll just demonstrate that. I bring out my mouse, I click. Everywhere that I click, it makes that picture disappear. If I press X on the keyboard, it switches down here to white. Everywhere I paint white, that picture comes back. So if I wanted that part of my nose to disappear, I could do that. Now, right now, my brush is really small. If I want to make my brush bigger, I can also press the bracket button on the keyboard. Bracket looks like a parenthesis, but it's square. It's right above the quotation marks. So everywhere that I paint black disappears, and it almost looks like it was part of the original picture. So I want to have this sharp line in there because it's Cubist. There's a lot of lines in Cubist art, but some of them I want to kind of have disappear. So I made part of it disappear. So now it's like very strange, and that's on purpose. You want it to be kind of strange. Now I'm going to go back, get a whole nother perspective or another view of the face. Again, take a screenshot. That was Control Shift and then the screen switcher button. Again, that looks like this. Control Shift screen switcher. But I'm on a Mac, so I'm Command Shift 4. Gonna grab the part of the face that I wanted. Let's see, maybe I'll just get an eye. It's on my clipboard, so that allows me to paste it when I come over here. So I'm gonna go right over here. I'm gonna have a new layer, Control V to paste. So when you copy something, you can paste it. And where did it go? Let's see. I'm gonna move it. Oh, there's my whole document. There it is, it's up in the corner. Right, so then I use my arrow tool to move it. So I click on it, or I can click on the layer and I can resize it. Dragging from the corner lets me resize. Now I've got a whole nother weird perspective added, and so on. So you can see how you can go in and make whole new image, putting multiple images together. Now, I'm not quite done, but I don't want to make you sit here and watch the whole process. So I'm just going to go in and pretend like I'm done. And if I were done, I would need to save it. So you need to have 5 different pictures put together at different angles to make an odd or synthesized, abstracted artwork out of multiple perspectives of the face. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see a picture out of the way for a minute, you can click on the eyeball next to the layer and it makes it appear and disappear so that you can kind of see what you're doing. Okay, now let's pretend I was done. Then I would go File, Export as a JPEG. When I export it as a JPEG, then I can hit save, and it saves on my computer. It downloads on my computer. And then I can go into my Google Doc and I can place it in as a picture. So I go into my last one, go after it, go insert, image, and then upload from your computer. And on your Chromebook, I think it saves in your downloads folder. And it's going to download the name that you just named it. So Cubist will be as part of the name. So you select the image that you downloaded. And I hit open or insert, and then it's there. And then as far as your label goes, you're going to label it kind of similar to how we did with the Fibonacci sequence when we put in that. You're going to put in a label of the title, the medium. So title would be Cubist face, or you can come up with another title. And then you just put inspired by Picasso. And then digital imaging, the medium is digital imaging. Instead of weavesilk.com, you can put photopea.com. And the size is 8.5 by 11. And you put today's date, or whatever day you did it. And your name should be in there. So then you have it labeled, you have it done, and you have it in your portfolio. And that's all you need to do.